Hello and welcome to Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC and your daily reminder that the Reds are Premier League champions. And in just a couple of days, we'll be kicking off our attempts to retain said Premier League title. But all the news today is around Alexander Isak. David Ornstein reporting today that Isak has absolutely no intention of ever playing for Newcastle again. He has reiterated that to them and made it very clear that he will not play for them again. Martin Hardy is reporting that Isak has now moved out of his house. He's cleared out his belongings. And as far as he is concerned, it is over between him and Newcastle. Now, all of this leads to every fan base in the Premier League pointing a finger at Liverpool and saying, you're the bad guys here. So let's break some of that down, will we? Because personally, I'm absolutely sick of hearing that Liverpool are the bad guys. I'm sick of hearing, oh, but Liverpool fans weren't happy when Trent ran down his contract and left and went to a different club for free. Right. Free is the fucking key word there. Liverpool have already offered Newcastle somewhere between 110 and 120 million quid. So that's a massive difference for starters, right? That's difference number one. Difference number two, is Alexander Isak a Geordie who came through Newcastle's academy? I don't believe that he is. I don't believe that he is. So there's difference number two. Difference number three, Isak told Newcastle a year ago that he wanted to leave. A year ago. At the end of the 23-24 season, he said he wanted to leave. Trent didn't do that for Liverpool. Trent didn't make it known that he was going to leave until his contract was almost up. Despite the fact he'd been learning Spanish for multiple years, despite the fact that him and his family had all quietly moved away from Liverpool, despite the fact that his brother was walking around telling everybody, Trent McManaman, the same brother, by the way, who got his entire education and his agent's license on the club's dime. The same brother who pushed for Trent to go so he could get an agent fee to set him up for life. None of that is the case with Isak. None of it. It's not Liverpool's fault that Alexander Isak understands that Newcastle are not in a position to win the major honours. They're years away from winning a Premier League or a Champions League. That's not Liverpool's fault. It's not Liverpool's fault that Newcastle broke their word to Alexander Isak over and over and over again when they promised him a new contract and then took it off the table. That's not Liverpool's fault. When they told him, if you give us one more year, you can leave next summer. When they told him in March they'd sell him in the summer and then backtracked. That's not Liverpool's fault either. And it's also not Liverpool's fault that Liam Delap, João Pedro, Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbomo, Sesko, and fuck knows whoever else have turned down a chance to move to Newcastle this summer. It is not Liverpool's fault that Newcastle are incompetent. It's not Liverpool's fault that there is a power struggle within Newcastle, which has already seen multiple people, including Amanda Staveley, forced out of the club. against her will. None of that is Liverpool's fault. All of this is Newcastle's fault. Every single last bit of this is Newcastle's fault. And yet, we're the bad guys, somehow, in this scenario. The irony of it is, Newcastle fans absolutely fucking delighted when Johan Visse told Brentford he wasn't going to play for them again and refused to train. Couldn't have been happier. Like it as a sign of what a big club they were. But when it happens to them, they're outraged. Fucking furious. Now, obviously, we know United fans and City fans and all these other gals, they're all just jealous because the best striker in the league wants to join us and is prepared to go to, to the extreme lengths to secure that move. Arsenal fans are jealous because, well, number one, they thought all along they were going to get him. There's video footage of him arriving at the Emirates last season and Arsenal fans saying, welcome home. The poor deluded souls. There's reason one. And reason two is they signed the lesser Swedish striker. Now, Gyökeres is really good, but nobody's taking Gyökeres over Isak. But yet, they were fucking delighted with themselves when Gyökeres went on strike and refused to leave or to train with Sporting in the summer. Oh, but he had a gentleman's agreement. So did Isak. Isak had multiple, one over a contract and one over the ability to leave. But yet it's absolutely dandy for Gyökeres to do it because he's going to Arsenal and he always wanted to be a gooner. Yeah. North London forever. Even though you're originally not from North London. Tremendous crack. But when big bad Liverpool do it, we're the worst in the world. It is amazing how funny all of this is. What's also funny is Newcastle fans refusing to accept that FIFA's regulations stipulate that Isak, once he has completed the first 3 years of his contract, the protected period, can unilaterally terminate his contract without facing any kind of a ban. Now, there is compensation up. Newcastle fans, the few who can actually read, I assume maybe they got a grown-up from somewhere else to read to them, who can actually read and understand that Article 17 is a real thing. Then they're like, oh, but he's not going to be able to pay that money. Do you understand how easy it would be for Alexander Isak to secure that type of financing? Like, Standard Chartered could probably do him a good interest rate. He would easily get the money required to cover the compensation to Newcastle, which would be less than 100 million, which we would then give back to him in the form of a signing bonus. It is basically the same thing as a player having a release clause in Spain, where they have to pay for it themselves. The club just gives it them. Now, in this situation, we couldn't just openly give it to him. We'd have to give it to him thereafter. Otherwise, we might face, I think it's a 12-month transfer ban. It's nothing that we need to be too concerned about. But Newcastle know they don't actually hold the cards in this. The only people that think they do is the strange Newcastle fans, most of whom seem to be the result of several generations of inbreeding, going around giving each other high sixes. But that's by the by. Newcastle have never been in control of this situation. No matter how many Luke Edwards exclusives there are, everything has always pointed to the fact that he's not staying there. And we had Keith Downey and Danger Ben and a couple of others in the last couple of days say, oh, you know, the longer this goes, the more chance there is he stays. No, he's not staying. He does not want to stay. So Newcastle have a choice here. They either get a huge chunk of money or they get a player who walks away. And yes, they'll get compensation, but it will be less. I don't understand, though, why Newcastle have taken a position where they've decided to cut off their own nose to spite their own face. This deal could have been done at the beginning of July. Like, it genuinely could have been done 6 weeks ago. And it would have put them in a far better situation with much more clarity and far bigger financial weapons to go and do what they needed in the transfer market. Now they're sitting in a situation where, what is there, 19 days left in the transfer window? And they look terrible. The optics on this for them are terrible, regardless of what fools on social media say. We don't come out of this looking bad at all, because we were very open. We publicly approached them. We didn't leak it, but it got leaked that we had approached them to let them know we're interested in your player, and then we made a bid. That's all we've done. We're not looking bad here at all. They look really bad, though. And they're a club where, like, they're trying to build towards something. To do that, they need to continually sign players. Until they get where they want to go, which is in a position where they're competing to win the league or win the Champions League, though, they are going to be a stepping stone club. Like, when Bruno Guimaraes went there, he went there as a stepping stone. But he fell in love with the place. Now, 2 years ago, he came very close to going to Manchester City. He could have gone to Arsenal. He had the opportunity, turned that one down. But he came quite close to going to City. City just wouldn't pay quite what Newcastle wanted, and then City pivoted away. Bruno wasn't pushing for the move, but he would have gone there. Tonali arrived, immediately hated the place. Now, seems to like it now, probably because he had a year just kicking around, not playing football. But Tonali didn't go there as, like, this is my destination. Tino Livramento would have jumped ship to Man City this year if they could have agreed a fee. Lewis Hall might be the only one who views Newcastle as a destination because he grew up a Newcastle fan. He might be the only one. Everyone else views it as a stepping stone. Whether that's Anthony Gordon, Anthony Elanga, all the rest of them, they view Newcastle as a stepping stone. The thing is, when you're a stepping stone, it has to be clear to players that not only can they step on, but that you will allow them to step off. And by behaving the way they have, and very clearly breaking their word to Isak multiple times over a prolonged period, not just one occasion, not just this summer, but going back 16, 17 months to when the contract situation happened, they're showing themselves to not be a club that operates in good faith. And agents talk to each other all the time. And players talk to each other all the time. And you can be guaranteed that what Newcastle have done is not sitting well at all with agents and players.
Right, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts, and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the Great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.